Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United have just lost 2-1 to Sheffield United at Old Trafford. It's our first loss in the Premier League since November the 1st. And it's Sheffield United's first win at Old Trafford since 1973. And that's Sheffield United's first Premier League away win of the season and just their second win this season. Gotta say, unacceptable performance by Manchester United. De Gea, he looked inconvincing for Sheffield United's first goal. Sheffield United's first goal came from the corner. John Fleck put it in. And obviously it was Keane Bryan that had scored. And I thought for Sheffield United's second goal, the defending was abysmal. Sheffield United's second goal came from Burke. He obviously come off the bench. It actually deflected off Axel Tuanzebe. Our goal came from Harry Maguire. That's his first goal at Old Trafford. And it was Alex Telles that had got the assist. There was actually chances in the game. There was some talking points. Anthony Martial had a disallowed goal in the game. I don't actually know why VAR did not check that. I think Mason Greenwood, he was poor in the first half. He did look bright though at times. I think he did have a few chances. I don't think Harry Maguire was too good either. And Wan-Bissaka wasn't great. Axel Tuanzebe, he wasn't great either. Paul Pogba, for the vast majority of the first half, he was quiet. Did well though in the opening 10 minutes. Bruno Fernandes, weren't at his best. Obviously, Eric Bailly didn't play any part in the game. I don't think he was even part of the squad. Now, obviously, we brought some substitutions on in the game. Obviously, Luke Shaw came on. To be fair, I thought he was probably man of the match. He made an impact when he came on, to be fair. We saw Edinson Cavani come on, and we also saw Donny van der Beek come on. I think Edinson Cavani and Marcus Rashford's work rate is very, very good. But they was not great tonight. I think we must have had a lot of the possession. I did read a few stats from the game. But yeah, that's another home defeat this season for Man United. We must have lost, 5 games now at Old Trafford in the league this season. But from a Sheffield United perspective, they'll be very, very delighted with the win. John Fleck, I thought, had a good game for them. I think he got their player of the match. He got an assist. Lundstram, he also got an assist in the game. McGoldrick for Sheffield United had a couple of chances as well. I think Sheffield United went with a 3-5-2 formation. And let's put into the equation, Sheffield United had quite a few players missing. There was no Robinson, he was injured. There was no Osborne, he was injured. There was no Sandy Berg, he was injured. They had Egan suspended. McBurney, he was also out with injury. They've got O'Connell out for the season. I'm very, very shocked at this result because I was actually expecting Man United to win, with how abysmal Sheffield United have been this season. And, if we'd have won tonight, we'd have gone back top. So it is a missed opportunity. Obviously we beat Sheffield United in this fixture last season 3-0. It was a hat-trick from Anthony Martial. Obviously we're beating them at Bramall Lane earlier on in the season 3-2. But obviously we had to come from behind in that game. I can still assure that, Sheffield United are getting relegated this season, despite that win tonight. I'm actually surprised that Chris Wilder is still there. That's probably his best win as, Sheffield United boss. Definitely Sheffield United's best game this season. Chris Wilder has been at Sheffield United since 2016. He's been there now, is it 5 years or almost 5 years? But to Chris Wilder's credit, don't forget, he got Sheffield United all the way from League One to the Premier League. And before he was at Sheffield United, he was at Northampton, Oxford, Halifax, and he's been at Alfred Town before. Despite this loss tonight, we are still in this title race. There's obviously a lot of Man United fans that are now saying we're not going to win the league. I don't think Ollie will be under pressure after this game because obviously it's only one loss, and like I said, it's our first loss in the Premier League since November the 1st. If we are to be winless in our next 4 or 5 games, then the pressure will be back on him. We've been very, very good though away from home in the league. We haven't lost away from home in the league since January last year. We are unbeaten in our last 17 Premier League away games. But I certainly think that Man United have got to get a centre-half in because, like I said, defensively tonight, we was shambolic. We need someone on Harry Maguire's level. Since Bay started playing again, to his credit, he has done well, but Bay is too injury prone. And, you can say Lindelof, he's not reliable either. And, we have had a few centre-halves on our agenda. And I've already gone through with you what we need to do to secure the Premier League title. With obviously good performances have got to persist. Obviously that didn't happen tonight. We've obviously got to keep getting good results. Obviously wasn't a good result tonight. We've got to make at least one more signing. Solskjaer's got to keep getting his selections right. Sometimes he gets his selections wrong, so that's definitely questionable. So yeah, but Solskjaer has already given us an update on our January transfer plans, and he did say he's not expecting any signings before this window shuts. But he did say that more fringe players could leave Man United before the end of this window, because he's still deadwood at the football club that we do need to get rid of. Now, we have got a big game on Saturday. We are away to Arsenal at the Emirates. And Arsenal have had a good record against us at the Emirates in recent years. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has lost twice to Mikel Arteta when they've gone against each other. And Arsenal have been in form in the league recently. They recently beat Southampton 3-1. They did have that setback though in the FA Cup last weekend. They did lose 1-0 to Southampton. A lot of Arsenal fans have changed their perception on Mikel Arteta. There's a lot of Arsenal fans that are now Mikel Arteta in, but earlier on in the season, a lot of Arsenal fans criticised him a lot and they was demanding him out, because earlier on this season, Arsenal were in a relegation battle. At one point, they were sitting 15th in the Premier League. Mikel Arteta has been Arsenal manager for over a year now. He's Arsenal's third manager, since Wenger. Obviously, before they had Arteta, they had Lundberg, had him on a temporary basis. Before they had Lundberg, they had Unai Emery. They sacked him after like 18 months, and before Emery, they had Arsene Wenger for 22 years. Arsenal Man United always used to be a good fixture when we had Ferguson and when they had Wenger. Obviously, we lost at the Emirates last season 2-0. And Arsenal beat us earlier on in the season at Old Trafford 1-0. And that was Arsenal's first win at Old Trafford in the Premier League since 2006. And like I said, on paper, Arsenal have got a good squad. They've obviously, got Aubameyang. Probably one of their best players. He's endured his bad periods, but he's still a very, very good player. They've also got Lacazette. He's been in form. They've got Nicolas Pepe. He's a very, very good player. They got him from Lille. They've also got Willian. Obviously, Mikel Arteta recommended him in. They've also got that Martin Odegaard. They got him, I think, on loan. I think he's going to be their new number 10. They've also got that Smith Rowe. He seems a pretty good player. They've got that young player Saka, who's in scintillating form at the moment. They've also got Thomas Partey. He's made an impact at Arsenal, and obviously Mikel Arteta recommended him in. That Thomas Partey, yeah. They've got Granit Xhaka. Don't really rate him, to be honest with you. They've got that Kieran Tierney. I think Kieran Tierney's actually injured. He's sustained a few injuries since he joined Arsenal. They actually brought him in under Unai Emery. They've also got that Gabriel Magalhaes. They obviously recommended him in under Arteta. He's done well at Arsenal as that Magalhaes. They've also got David Luiz. I think Emery brought him in. They've got Rob Holding. Don't really rate him. They've got Hector Bellerin. He's a pretty good player, is Hector Bellerin. I think they've got that Nketiah as well. I think he was out on loan with Leeds last season. Obviously, they've got Leno, who's their first choice goalkeeper. I think they've still got Dani Ceballos as well. So yeah, they have got a pretty good squad. Cedric Soares, he's another player they've got. They got him under Arteta. They've got that Pablo Mari. Arsenal have let a few players go recently. Socrates left them. He's gone to Olympiacos. They loaned Lucas Torreira out. They also loaned Guendouzi out. Over the years, though, they've let good players go. Don't forget to let Sanchez go. Was it back in 2018? They let Robin Van Persie go in 2012. Let likes of Jack Wilshere go. Samir Nasri, Aaron Ramsey. But yeah, don't forget back in 2004, Arsenal were the Invincibles, because they went a whole season without losing, and they have had good players, over the years, and that, they had the likes of Henry, Bergkamp, Perez, Lundberg, Vieira, all of them players. But it's still always a big fixture is Arsenal and Man United. If we was to go to Arsenal and win on Saturday, this would make up from the 2-1 loss tonight against Sheffield United. Now after Arsenal, I think it's Southampton. That's going to be another tough game. Then after Southampton, we have got Everton. I think some Man United fans believe that, David De Gea could be one of the biggest problems at the club. Obviously, he's nowhere near as good as he was a few years ago, because quite a few years ago he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world, and then obviously he endured a couple of bad years, obviously reflects on the calamitous mistakes he was making. And like I said, he was unconvincing tonight for that first goal. But I think David De Gea has actually had some good games this season. I did mention, that he is getting back to his best. He is going to remain our number one for at least this season. De Gea's been a long servant at the club. This is his 10th season at Man United. He's made over 500 appearances in all competitions. I think some United fans have said, though, that Dean Henderson should now be our number one, because in the games Dean Henderson's played in this season, he's actually done well, and obviously he's now got that experience behind him, so he is reliable. But yeah, I still think there'll be a lot of United fans that are Ollie in. I doubt there'll be many Man United fans changing their perception, obviously after one defeat. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has received a lot of criticism at Man United, especially earlier on in the season, reflecting how inconsistent we was. Solskjaer did confirm prior to this game against Sheffield that, there's been no discussions over getting him a new contract yet. Solskjaer has just 18 months left on his current contract. And I said, reflecting on the progress he has made in, recent months, I said he's on course to earn himself a new contract. And I was saying, he's bringing the old Man United back, and, we have been getting glimpses of the Sir Alex Ferguson era and that, because we have come from behind in a lot of games this season. So hopefully this game tonight was just a blip, but it is an embarrassment to lose to bottom of the league. It really, really is. Actually, the last time Sheffield United beat us in the league was actually back in August 1992. Prior to this game, we was unbeaten in our last 10 games against them in all competitions, winning 9 and drawing 1. Now, I think, this season, Man United must win a trophy, and Solskjaer knows how important it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy for just over 4 years, and there is 3 trophies we can pursue. We can win the Premier League because we are still in the race. But I've said so many times this season, I can't see us winning it this season. We can win the FA Cup, win into the 5th round, and we can also win the Europa League. I think we are going to finish in the top 4 this season. But like I said to you, we deserve credit for sticking with Solskjaer in a way, because he could have easily been sacked as Man United manager. I thought he was going to be sacked after us getting knocked out of the Champions League, because back in early December he was the favourite to be sacked. He was lucky not to be sacked after our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham earlier on this season. He was lucky not to be sacked at the first part of last season, because at the first part of last season we enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years. So we have certainly endured bad periods under him. And this is his 2nd full season at Man United. Solskjaer has been Man United manager for over 2 years now, and you can say, reflecting now on his being at the club, he has gained some managerial experience and he has learned quite a bit on the job and that. But I still maybe think there's some Man United fans that are not sure if Solskjaer is the long-term manager. There's definitely positives to take. because we've been in a good run of form up until tonight. You know, prior to this game against Sheffield, we was unbeaten in our last 13 Premier League games. You know, like I mentioned earlier on, we've been very, very good away from home in the Premier League. Solskjaer got us to the EFL Cup semi-final earlier on this season. Lost that to City 2-0. He did well last season, his first full season. Got us qualification for the Champions League. Got us third in it. Guided us to 3 semi-finals. You know, despite our reluctance to back Solskjaer regarding transfers and that, I still think he's made good signings as Man United manager. He's spent over £200 million at the club. And we've seen a lot of players leave since he got recommended in. And I've said to you before, haven't I, that, you know, the board has been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years. The main explanations, like I've been through with you before, is because, you know, our recruitment policy's been poor. The board haven't backed any of the managers enough that we've had since Ferguson retired. And obviously mistakes have been made. And this January transfer window is Solskjaer's 5th transfer window at the club. And I think he's been let down yet again. And Woodward did promise Solskjaer that he will back him. You know, towards the end of last year, Woodward came out and said that he will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. Woodward's been at the club for several years. He's been with us since 2012. You know, you've had the Glazers that have been at the club since 2005. But yeah, we certainly need more signings. I think it said we're looking to make around 4 signings this year to complete our squad overhaul. I've already given you the 3 areas where I think we need to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, we need a centre-half, and we also need a world-class midfielder. Now, like I've said to you, know, there has been a lot of players on our agenda. Obviously, you know the news on Declan Rice. Apparently Man United have got a free run at Declan Rice. Because obviously with Chelsea sacking Lampard, I don't think Chelsea are no longer in for him now. And it was stemmed from ESPN saying that Man United are set to rival Chelsea for Declan Rice. Frank Lampard was infuriated when he missed out on him. You know, it said West Ham are considering lowering their asking price to just £50 million for Rice. But initially West Ham value him at around £80 million. He's the type of calibre player I'd take at Man United because he breaks up the play well. He's only young, he's got a lot of development in him. And he's well Premier League proven. Jadon Sancho, you know, he's still on our agenda. I think Dortmund are going to be forced to lower their demands because Sport 1 recently said that Dortmund are relying on Jadon Sancho's sale. You know the news on Daya Upamecano, you know, he still remains on our agenda, and I think he'd go very, very well alongside Harry Maguire, you know, if we did get him in. If we had to get him before this window shuts, he's going to cost us in the £50-odd million range, but we know at the end of the season that Upamecano is going to be available for around £38 million. Erling Haaland, you know, he's been on our agenda. But like I say, we're focusing more on the outgoings rather than the incomings, you know, in this window. It looks like Jesse Lingard is leaving Manchester United. West Ham are leading the race. It said that West Ham are set to sign him on loan until the end of the season. But Sky Sports recently said that West Brom have made an inquiry. Sheffield and Newcastle have also been interested in him. And obviously a few other clubs have been in for him. You know, Lingard lost his place in the team a while back. He hasn't played for us in the Premier League since July, and this season he's only played twice in the Carabao Cup, and he played in the FA Cup third round against Watford. But yeah, we did trigger that 1 year extension on Jesse Lingard's contract. But ESPN recently said that we've actually agreed to let him go out on loan. But it said earlier on this month that Solskjaer actually wants him to stay at the club this month. But yeah, he wasn't part of the squad for the game against Liverpool in the FA Cup recently. Lingard's made 133 appearances for us in the Premier League. Odion Ighalo's already said his farewells to Man United. He's gone now. Solskjaer did confirm that Marcus Rojo and Marcus Rojo and Sergio Romero, are free to leave in this January window because he said their contracts won't be extended. Obviously, there's been rumours of Daniel James going because he's lost his place in the team, and there's obviously been rumours of Brandon Williams going out on loan. Brandon Williams is our third choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles, and Williams seldom plays now. West Ham, Southampton and Newcastle want him, and I think more players could leave Man United in the summer. Like Mata, you know, he could be leaving in the summer because his contract expires in June. Matic could also leave in the summer. You know, Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but he's still getting chances, is Matic. You know, he actually played tonight in the game against Sheffield United. Paul Pogba, I think there's still a chance he'll stay at Manchester United, potentially past the summer. You know, if we was to win the Premier League this season, which I don't see happening, but if we did, you know, it would be tough for Paul Pogba to leave, like Rio Ferdinand recently said. But he said after our 2-1 win against Fulham that Paul Pogba was considering making a U-turn at the club. That means staying and could even possibly sign a new long-term contract at Man United. I think it said his future is on hold until the end of the season. But his performances have recently been very, very good, but he weren't brilliant tonight in the game against Sheffield. Obviously, in the league a lot recently, we've been putting him in more of an advanced role. But I'm not going to assure that Pogba's going to stay, you know, because he could still leave Man United in the summer. He'll either go, if he leaves, he'll either go to Juventus, Real Madrid or PSG. Don't forget Paul Pogba's agent Mino Raiola told 2 Sport last month, you know, that his client's career is over at Man United. He said he's unhappy and he has to leave and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. Obviously, Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig. Certainly overpaid for Pogba. We paid £89 million for him, but we've overpaid, you know, for quite a few players, haven't we, to be honest with you? And as for Donny van der Beek, you know, didn't start tonight, but obviously came off the bench. Like I said to you, know, Donny van der Beek seldom starts in the Premier League. He's only started 2 games in the league, and that was West Ham and Southampton. Most of his appearances have come from the bench, Donny van der Beek's. You know, he did actually play, though, in the game against Liverpool in the Cup. He started that game, but he didn't play the whole game. I think he came off in, like, the 60th minute. Solskjaer made an admission about Donny van der Beek prior to the game against Liverpool in the Cup, and he said, you know, that he's unhappy at Man United because of his lack of playing time. Actually, Solskjaer, though, promised him more game time at the club. You know, Van der Beek can play in 3 different roles, and, you know, we got him in a deal worth £40 million. And as for Marcus Rashford, you know, I think he has improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. You know, he scored against Liverpool in the Cup recently, but weren't brilliant tonight against Sheffield. You know, he can still get good runs in behind. I don't think he's fully fit because he's just recently had a knee injury. But Solskjaer confirmed prior to the game that Marcus Rashford, you know, has been training and he's going to be available. But like I've said to you so many times before, no manager at Man United, no manager in general, is going to replicate Ferguson's legacy. No one's going to last as long as Sir Alex Ferguson did. That's something we've got to accept. Ferguson endured 27 years at the club and won a total of 38 major honours, including 13 Premier League titles, but Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the club. So anyway guys, give me your thoughts on the game, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.